So we often think that with age, comes wisdom hand in hand. But I think that we're all part of this larger lost generation where we think that we're saying something that makes sense because it makes sense to our lives, right? It fits our worldview, but we're so far removed from if it making any real sense. And if we just did a fraction of research of thought, we would see it. And when we perpetuate this, and we have aunties like this that put stuff out, which really just a real distaste for men. Let's take a look.
Ladies, listen, get off the internet complaining about how men are not catering to your emotional needs, okay? He don't know how you feel. He don't even know how he feel. You
Feel a little bit annoyed. I know that.
understand? There were studies done hundreds of years ago, okay?
No, they weren't.
This is its biological nature. Studies was done on men and their emotional connection. How do they connect to their emotions psychologically? They don't. They only understand two emotions: happy and sad.
I just had annoyed right there. I got that one.
They're not women. They don't have an XX chromosome. They have an XY, the Y chromosome. You understand? Do a little more research on this, okay? So you can stop nagging this man. How he gets out his
There's no genetic component to emotional regulation. Depending on your chromosomes doesn't mean that I am unable to relate to my emotions because of which chromosomes I possess. That doesn't that's just false. I know it sounds good when you hear things like that. You hear about, yeah, studies were done hundreds of years ago. Any study done 100 years ago should be taken with a grain of salt because the whole point of doing studies or scientific method is test, retest. We know that. We understand that, right? That's in the realm of science. We thought this and it was largely held to think this now. That's why we repeat the same studies years ago, but with a better understanding, a better grasp of larger implications. So any study done hundreds of years ago, remember, the United States is not 300 years old. Any study is going to be tinted with the ideals of that time. I'm even pretending that said study was actually done. It wasn't done. But the fact is saying that we have no really control of our emotions. The only emotions we understand are being happy and sad. Off rip, we can understand that. As men, we hear this and it's just completely insulting. And then the part that is more irksome, more bothersome is the comments, is the amount of people that simply agree with this because they were hurt and they're trying to find some way to understand why they were hurt outside of themselves. Why something didn't work out isn't always an external problem, especially when it's a man involved. Sometimes stuff doesn't work out because both of you didn't work out. Both of you were, dare I say, awful people. That's a real possibility. Or sometimes women are bad people too. You have that purview. You're allowed to be bad too. Sometimes stuff doesn't work out because you're awful. And I hate to put it out there, making like victim blaming, but some of you are awful people. Let's continue.
emotions is through sleeping with you. He needs to release. He needs to dump emotionally. Okay? That's why he want to sleep with you.
My emotion is not is not is not contained in my ejaculate, right? It's not. It's not. I mean, is there a dump? Is there release? Yeah, it's like relaxation that comes over you, right? Not not this is how I get my emotions out. I can talk to you, right? If you're willing to listen, and it doesn't seem as if she has an open mind to hear what type of men that men are communicating their emotions, and this feeds into a cycle. When men are only looking at you, or the men particularly that you deal with, are only looking at you as a physical release, and they don't open up, they don't speak to you because they're only here for one thing. That helps you think this way and perpetuate that, and then you get on social media and you blast that out, and then people with similar experiences or had trouble connecting emotionally with the man, and that could be the man's fault. That's fair. That's fair. Um, then you get this echo chamber, and this is where we kind of left. You saying some ridiculous stuff and people finding you, and that's the beauty of internet. Whatever tribe you're looking for, you can find it online. Whatever tribe you're looking for, you can find it online.
He need to get off some emotions that he can't connect with. That's why he don't understand all of this. He don't know what all this is that you're talking about. Good. He don't understand emotions. You understand? They have to be walked through this. From the tender age of the toddler, they have to be walked through these things. All right? Just a little research. Ain't no man gonna connect with you emotionally. That's what your sisters are for. Your friends.
Your sisters and friends are there to connect to you emotionally in the way that you are most comfortably connecting with. That's normal. Just the same way guys can connect emotionally with other guys in the ways because we speak that language. Men and women can connect with other, but it takes a little work for you to understand that this is how she is expecting to connect with you, or this is the way she's accustomed to speak with. She should also be able to do the same for you. For the longest time, women have been given the purview of the better communicators, the ones that are more emotionally regulated, that are more in touch with their emotions. You're in touch with your emotions as a woman. You're in touch with a woman's set of emotions. Men are in touch with men's set of emotions. This is where the disconnect comes because I'm talking to you as I talk to a man. You're talking to me as you talk to a woman. I expect you to talk to me as men talk to men. You expect me to talk to you as women talk to women. This is the clash right here. And it's a very simple thing. If whomever is trying to communicate, you sit down and say, this is how I communicate. This is what the love language is supposed to be about. That this is how I speak. This is how I would like to be spoken to. Or these are the things that put little deposits in my emotional bank. When you do these things, I receive them better. There needs to be the reverse of that. When when I do these things or when you do these things, this is how I also receive it. It's not a one-way street in which men are expected simply to communicate with you as women do, because realistically, we have men that do that today and you don't like them. There's an ick, right? There's an ick that runs up the back of your neck, right? There's a queasiness that sits in the bottom of your stomach that you're like, there's something I don't like about this. That's real. There's something there that's like, ah. And then you call him, I need a man's man. But then you want a man's man that communicates to you like a woman. Just make that make sense.
The ones that you push away when you get a man, because my man, but he ain't catering to your emotional needs. That's why women who have babies suffer from postpartum depression. Okay?
The whole host of reasons why women suffer from postpartum depression. To again put that force that on a man is complete folly. Right? If you are suffering postpartum depression, don't look to your man as the one that's supposed to solve it. Help him through it, but also get professional help.
Your man is not there for you emotionally. They don't know what it is that you're going through. All right? They need to be trained and walk through these things. And
You keep treating a man like a dog, and you'll walk yourself. Right? That people that follow this type of rhetoric, this type of thought, then will get up here and complain that there's no men in their life. Yeah, sometimes it takes us a little bit to see who you are and say, cool, right? I had my emotional dump right into you, and I'm gone. I'm not dealing with this. I mean, and I see so much of this, so much of it, and it's funny and but it's sad at the same time because again, when we get older, right, we're supposed to have the wisdom from experience. That's just something that's impossible for you to get when you're younger. Some people are wise for their age because they seem to know things ahead of schedule without the experience, and we give them credit for that, right? We call them different names, geniuses, prodigies, and such. But when you get older, your experience is supposed to be the thing that teaches you. There's book knowledge, there's academia, but there's real life experience. Then you're supposed to have a clearer picture of how things operate. Sometimes it goes the wrong way, and what you have to operate on is falsehoods. What you should be doing is reflecting on these things. But you, with social media, allows us to go and basically find our own tribe that has similar experiences and push that out. Just push it out. Then you get in this echo chamber. And then in a few years' time, you'll be saying that, yeah, these guys ain't ish. There's no good men out there. Men, the advice I give to you is the same as I always do. You leave them alone. Leave them alone. Let life deal with whatever it's going to deal with them. It's just fine. Some of us, we can't. Unfortunately, we can't be saved. It's going to take you saving yourself. That's the only truth. Let me know what you think.